Greetings, friends. I'm Colonel Failure, and this is the Alps in Transport Fever. We start in suspended animation with one of the most majestic sights you're likely to see. It's a double-headed big boy, which is currently hauling oil back and forth. No, or is it? Is it oil or is it food? I think it's oil. It's food. Hey, I could have got that right, but didn't. Yeah, so it's hauling food back and forth across the map, and I set this up foolishly, bowing to the pressure from comments who wanted to see a double-headed big boy. Well, don't get too attached to it because it's leaving pretty sharpish. We are in financial distress, friends. Loan I'm almost maxed out on, and We've been carving away quite a heavy amount of money over the last couple of years, and the amount we're earning is not enough to get us out of trouble quickly. So the first thing we're going to do here, sorry, double-headed big boy fans, is we're going to remove one of those, and then one of these, and one of those, and We'll do that immediately. Right, I'm going to gain 10 million quid from that. All right, well that's a start. Now, part of the reason that I am short on cash, and this is why we are starting out paused, is because I started the chain back up to produce steel, or rather to produce tools and other assorted sundry goods, but I haven't got it all the way along. So while we are making a little bit, if I can find the train, where are you at the moment there, dear boy? You're not that one, that's for sure. Here we go. So primary lumber activity here. While we do have some lumber waiting, it will run out pretty quickly. Additionally, I am not moving things between the two sides of the hub at a speedy enough pace. So I need to make some pretty rapid changes if I am to avoid disaster. Now then, normally I don't play forward in the game. I try to avoid doing so, by which I mean that I don't allow the game to run after a recording and tinker around and then back up and do it again, because otherwise how are you going to get any spur-of-the-moment wizardry going on and the associated pithy comments that go with it? This time, however, I have played forward, because the way I see it, I've only got enough money to try this once to get it right. The good news is I have found a solution, which is partially disappointing, because, you know, getting it entirely wrong and then trying to recover would be far more hilarious. But we're not in the mood for hilarious yet. We're in the tail end of this series, because frame rates are starting to suffer. For those of you who like to keep score on such things, it takes about 15 minutes to load the map. It's no short amount of time, and my PC is no slouch. Incidentally, if you want to see why it takes so long, check out the mods list. I don't publish it in every episode, but I have done for this one. Check out those comments, the description, and it will be in there. Anyway, right, so in order to turn things around, I need to get the full steel line, the full tools line up and running. So I'll run you through a quick guided tour of that before we kick off. So wood here, lumber, is spirited this way before being dropped off over here in Locarno, where it is then transferred over here and turned into planks. Those planks are then returned, where it is picked up and brought back in the opposite direction by the same train to be dropped off here. Those planks are then, nothing happens with them. We do nothing with them at that point. That's problematic. What we need to be doing with them, however, is we need to bang them on a boat and then run the boat down the river here. Obviously doing the little boat tune there, before dropping it off right here at Interlaken, where it can be added to the stash alongside steel. Once we have steel in play, we will be able to make both these chaps here, tools, and these chaps here, machines, both of which have industrial demand against them. Now, the good news about ships is that once I've started producing this stuff, the same ships can load them up, and we head back down the river. Dun, 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 dun. It's just a little random tune there. I haven't made it available on iTunes yet. Where it is dropped off, and then the truck fleet will disperse it either to this station here, whereupon trains will then take them to towns where they will be transported. There's an example here at Bern. Will be transported by truck to a final destination that will make me plenty of money. Thank you very much. Right, that is the scheme. Okay, so the problem is that at present I'm running this here iron ore train, which carries approximately nothing at the moment, and that's troubling. And then likewise, we bring a train down here as well with coal. Here the fella is. It's the Coal Mountain Heavy. Now this is the second adjustment that I'm going to make here. Is that well, actually, I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to do it soon. Several of you have suggested that if I retire this big beast that we've got on there right now and instead replace it with 2, 3 smaller beasts, the supply of coal would be far faster, and the trains themselves would be quicker. However, another good suggestion that was made was that if I were to up the tempo in these corners here, we would be able to get back down the mountain at a far faster pace because the corner speed would increase. Actually, let's, isn't there a speedometer here? There we go, 45. If we up it, 49. As you can see, it's a radical difference, and it's going to very much change the nature of how we do business. Well, okay, it's not going to shift it by much, especially when we're slowing down to 42 here. It's not going to accomplish much, really, is it? No, it's not. But we'll do it anyway, and we'll try and we'll uniform that up. Sure, I'll waste some of the precious little cash that I have available to me in order to get that done. Yes, so changing that up might make a positive difference in the future. By adding more trains, that is. So the next thing I need to do, so in order to dig myself out of the hole, and I'm about to burn a couple of million because it's the end of July, so I want to get all of this done before I unpause. I'm happy to run myself into debt for a bit, but we need to be able to work our way back out of it. So here's the first player for this particular adventure, and it is the Bern Hub Goods Bulk, which is sported by this train, which I have been previously told was supposed to have one at the other end as well, or 2 back to back or some such. But one seems to be doing the job, but I appreciate that it is not what it should be in terms of consist. Right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to add, whoa, hold your horses, is I'm going to add stake cars onto the end of this, just as soon as that button press registers. Obviously the first time you load up the menu of train here, takes a little while. Also, people have been banging on at me to press the 3 buttons. I'll press them, okay? Everybody happy now? I have pressed the 3 buttons. And realistically, yes, I should do that more often. Makes it a little bit quicker to get around. But we need a couple of stake cars, because these stake cars, if we grab one here, can carry construction materials, which we will also be developing shortly. And that will help get slag production and construction material production on the go. These chaps here, they can already carry machines and tools, so we're all good there. So I'm going to add just, how much? 1, 2, 1, 1. Let's not go overboard. We'll stick 2. We'll stick 2 of those on there, and then replace it, which is going to cost me 6 million quid. Would have been cheaper to send it back to the depot and just add those on. But a new train has lower running costs. How old is this train? Do we care that much? It's 9 years old. Yeah, let's just get the new train. You probably do. And right, and so that's going to start creating demand for construction materials, which is a good thing. The other side benefit we get is that it can move steel. We don't need it to move steel, but it can do so, because obviously as it's dropping off up here, there will be steel potentially to come back in the opposite direction. So that's, you know, it's doing good works. Now, I still need to get that demand up a little further, so we shall also trot over here, and what I'm looking for is this beast here. Now, this massive stack of goods that I've got waiting, the oil doesn't bother me. The fuel, however, and the food definitely do, and almost all of it, pretty much all of it, is trying to get itself to Locarno. So I need Locarno's train here to be packing quite a lot more in order for that to be viable. Because until I clear this lot out, we're not going to produce more. So it's sending it this way because it goes like, oh, that Locarno's got plenty of demand for this stuff. You ought to be making some of that. I kind of go, well, other people want it too. Why don't you do that instead? Now, what have you got on there at the moment? Do we know what you are? It's a train. Well done. Well, it's electric, and it's a little green number, and you should remember it. Is it the 4C2? Let's go and have a quick close up. Now, obviously, those of you who are expert in such things, it's not. It's the B/123. One of those goes 100 kilometers an hour. So I'm going to switch that out for a rail freight here, because that will also increase its earnings, because that'll do 153, despite not being quite as hauly. Hauly, there's a technical term. Now this is going to be more expensive to replace this one. Right, freight. We're going to need some wagons. We'll go with the stock wagons on this one, and we'll go. What have you got on there now? 4. Certainly looks like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's lots. But this guy is going to start paying off immediately. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As you can see, this is the last change that we can make train-wise. And then we'll bang 2 of those on there as well. So this is now a nice, it's a beefy number, this one. I need 28 million, I need 15 in order to pay that off. Right, let's borrow to the max, because we have some more spending to do shortly. Right, okay, so what we've done there is we've created, hopefully, enough demand to actually get stuff rolling. Now, we don't need to wait for stuff like the Coal Mountain Heavy to actually deliver, because over here, try to ship more items. I will do. As you'll see, over here, we do actually have plenty of resources stored up already. So they'll start self-utilizing in order to get that going. Now, up here, what are we doing for this? Nothing stored right now. So chances are it'll turn quite a lot of that into slag as soon as we get going. I've got 14 million quid left, and I need a steel train to grab steel from here and whip it down over in this direction. Otherwise, we're going to be very slow when it comes to growth. So I'm going to buy myself a ship. Actually, I'm not even going to buy it from there. I'm going to buy it from this mid-distance one. Is that wise? It's not wise. That's a bad idea. Right, we're going to create one more route. Actually, we're going to create 2 more routes, but we're just going to do one for the moment. And that is going to go from Hub Port Alpha up here to your friend and mine, the Interlaken branch. So there we go. This is going to be hub steel. Steel, not quite. Steel materials and tools, which is not the catchiest name I've ever come up with, but it does a good job of describing what we're up to here. And then I'm going to run a ship on that route, not from there, but from here. And there is a perfect ship for this particular job, and it is this bold, the Shestaya Piatiletka. Piatiletka? All right, that'll do. It's close enough. Capacity of 500. Now it's 3.5 million quid, well, best part of 4 million. But it can haul a hell of a lot, and it's got 4 separate compartments, which I will leave on auto. Go. Now, with that in service, what we should see is that planks start getting generated, which will keep the lumber train operational. We should also get, once we've got steel and building material and construction materials coming down, all of this stuff can start to flourish, which will hopefully work out. I've got another change to make. Thun goods bulk. Now, this in principle should be one of the easiest lines to make work in the entire system, right? Because it's been working in the past, except I don't really know how. Here's the port, and right here is the truck stop, and I think the truck stop is too far away from the port. Yeah, I do. The only reason it's got anything at the moment is because it's being dropped off by train over there, and yet I am running ships. So those ships are doing absolutely nothing for me. I'm not entirely convinced. No, see, look, we're dropping off goods up here. So whatever overspill I've got going on there is a nonsense. So I do need to move this. Yeah, confirm that destruction. And then I need to plunk it back in again before we unpause, because it should inherit that the assignation that it had previously. So if we bang it in, I don't want to spend that much if I can avoid doing so. I think we can, yeah, 1/3. Oh, yeah, less than 100. Less than 100's good. More than 100, bad. All right, 84.5. This is an ugly piece of placement. I'll twizzle it up a bit later if we do some decorating down there. But as you can see, it has already inherited the line. But that is now definitely in range, which should mean that the ships that I've got on there actually kick off as well, which will be nice. Right, last thing to do, which is probably fortunate given that it's the last thing I can afford to do, is to set a little steel train in motion, just to get stuff rolling in here. And then eventually what I'll do is I'll expand the other trains by adding the appropriate cars to them to get stuff rolling. Anyway, right, buy trains. Now then, this needs to be fairly cheap. So I might look a little older. Now, someone requested that I put a South African train into service because I've got it in the collection, but we've never seen it. And if it's got a reasonable amount of hauling power, then I'll do just that, even though it's a steam train and we're trying to move away from steam at the moment. So here we go, is the South African Rails, 3.5 million quid. Well, the price is adequate, 85 kilometres an hour. So we're really talking in kind of shunting duty in terms of capability. I'd use the short tender rather than the long one. 85 though, for 3 million quid and a running cost of $500,000 a year. All right, I'm going to have to compare it to an Alco, I'm afraid, because not quite as fast, but it's 1 million quid and it's got running costs of 182. I would be insane to put that steam train on there while I am trying to recover from a rather significant debt crisis. Equally, I could put this French number on, and it's quite a lot faster. So regrettably, the South Africans are just going to have to hang on. Whoa, look at this guy. 52 grand a year. I mean, its power is laughable, but actually to set up a little shunting route, that could be fantastic. It gives me an idea. What about the V100 here? Again, nice and not rare. Well, it's not as cheap. I think I'm going to use an Alco, I think, unless there is a little electric that will do more hauling, higher speed, similar cost. What you got for? I'm not even looking at whether they're suited to passenger or someone else for the moment. We'll just have a quick skim through here, and no, it's not. Flipping heck, that's expensive. $750,000 a year, and it's slow. My Goodness gracious. No, right, okay. Well, I think we're either going to go with an Alco, which is quite slow but very cheap, or no, hold on, let's have a look at one of these. 500,000, 130. Now the top speed there is important because that dictates the drop off price that we'll get, or the price per kilometre that we'll be earning. Yeah, 500,000. How about you guys? 1 million a year. Yeah, we're not really up to that kind of earning potential right now. The GP9's no good to me. No, I think the Alco is it's fluttering its eyelashes at me. Come on there, fella. You know what's good for you. Get it going. What about multiple units? Just because a double Alco tandem. Nope, not this time. Union Pacific, no, not this time. All right, okay, right. Enough faffing about. Make a decision. Pick one. Get it into service. And now I look at it. This one's pretty good. 140. I mean, it's a big friendly German. Hold on, that's very cheap. Is it priced correctly? 400k a year, but only $1 million down. I get the very real sense here that these ones are priced correctly, whereas the reversed ones are not. Ha. All right, we're going to start it with the Alco because it's cheap. Gimme. Right, and then we're going to need wagons, freight, and that's going to be steel. So, state cars it is. Now then, how many do we think we can get on there? 72? Maybe one more? 90? 90 is a good number. Right, you need a line to run on. In fact, I can afford more, but that's going to impact on the speed of this little terrier that is going to be contributing towards the saving of my bacon. There we are, right. Now, I do need to do some rearrangement of the track setup here. I know it's a mess. It is pretty woeful right now, but I've got signalling enough to make it happen. So we should be okay. I just left out called line 1. I didn't even care. My goodness, I don't know. My standards really are slipping. Right, so this is going to be where's that up there? That's Burn Hub Steel Transit. That makes it sound pretty important, doesn't it? I'd apply this fella right here to the Burn Hub Steel Transit. Just like that. Right, okay, good. Right, we are about ready to unpause. We've done quite a lot here with the game entirely paused. I'm going to pay all of that into there, try and get the loan down as much as possible before the end of the year. Now then, let's go and see what we won, shall we? Let's start right here. There we are. Right, now, I very much doubt that this fella's going to get up to his 80-kilometre kind of top speed, particularly when loaded. But I don't fully anticipate him being loaded for a little while yet. So, we can look forward to whatever speed challenges we wish to assign the little champion, the little guy that could. What I am going to do, however, is at Burn Exchange, I'm going to wait till full on there right now. No, wait, you have to click the wait till full button. Full load any? Yes. And then, where do they keep the minute selector? Here it is. And we'll go 5 minute on there. Now that actually might cause quite a lot of drama, insofar as the line assignations that I've got going on right now aren't brilliant. Just look at that lump in the track. There we go. So once that starts filling up, well, I'll replace this pretty quickly with something quite a bit faster. But I want something that is fulfilling the needs of the route while not costing me an arm and a leg to run in the short term, and then we'll switch it up once that starts operating. Right, on to our next subject. who should be Oh, I bought it, didn't assign it to anything. That's a smooth move. Just while I'm checking though, hey, hub steel materials and tools. Get to work. So big it can't even fit inside the shipyard. It's quite a vivid colour there. Let's see if we can't make it a little bit more, you know, a bit more subdued. You're changing the root colour there. That's not exactly subdued. Oh, we're going to need to subdue it some more than that. There we are. That's a little bit better. Now, where are you heading? You're heading to hub port. Flipping Nora. As he does a handbrake turn there, scaring the wits out of this Viola that is making a move with 21 fuel on board out towards Thun. But this is the big fella. This is the man of the seas. This is the large dog, the great bear, the William Wilberforce of this particular area. You're looking at it, gigantic Russian edifice, and it's splendid. But this is going to fulfil a very important function because it will start getting things rolling. Right, who is next for my bag of tricks? Next for my bag of tricks, let's make sure Locarno is able to deliver. As you can see, it has topped out already with the goods that I've got going on, with its full Colonel Failure wagon livery going on, using the old logo, with such as life. The only concern that I've got really is it going to block the points when it gets there? Well, once we get there, we will find out. Hey, look at this! I'm over me. Let's pay that back down some more. Yeah, get used to this. Paying it down is where we live now. For a little while. Not least of all because it gives me a slush fund to play with. We're coming up on the end of the month. I'm not going to pay that anymore now. We'll wait for the end of the month to roll through. And then we'll see where that leaves us. But that slush fund I can then use if I do need to make an adjustment to track. That can happen. And the other thing that we're looking forward to is at the end of next year, so the end of 64, there is a brand new truck, which is, I mean, maybe it's not something that you would necessarily get excited about, but it means that I can up the capacity on all of the shuttle stuff that I've got working hubs right now, and make quite a lot more money out of them. Go. It's quite a good place to hang out, really. Now, I just bought this and it's grubby already. I ought to take it back to the manufacturer and go, could you possibly put something together that isn't quite so dirty? They'll look at me and go, it's a train, mate. Just, get a grip on yourself. Driver there. Ever watchful eye, looking for potential hazards ahead, and then driving into them. Right, so what we're testing for here is that we're not blocking the points. Actually, not that it matters, because it goes back on the same side of the line. He's got a dedicated line for his own personal usage. What it does is it blocks the level crossing quite nicely. 700 grand, that's not bad. The running costs on this are 1.2 million a year, plus however much each individual wagon costs, and obviously those costs go up over time, but initially that's not so bad. What I do need to make sure, however, is that we've got some happy-go-lucky truckers kicking around who actually want to start shipping this stuff, and that's why I'm looking forward to a new truck, because the additional capacity is going to make those significantly more effective. Anyway, at this point, I need another train. Oh, you see, didn't think that through. There's one more. Look at this. It's poetry in motion, that is. I'll do something with planes in a forthcoming episode, and I'll do something with cargo planes. Since we have a cargo airport here, I'll whip something up to the other end of the river, maybe. Ideally, something that doesn't involve me having to bulldoze half of the Alps. But we're not doing that today. The missing piece of the puzzle is I need a train that will pick up stuff from Burn here and whip it up there to be turned into construction materials. And I've got a train waiting. Who are you waiting for? You're waiting for a free line, and you're waiting on Pink. Well, Pink's been set up by some kind of lunatic. Who's using this end one? I doubt anybody's using the end one. Let's change where you're going here. Apparently you should be going into platform 1. Why are you not going into platform 1? You're trying to go into platform 4. This 1. Have I got a bit of electrification missing, or have I got some point? No. Oh no, hold on, that's Burn. Yes, right. Terminal 1. There we go. So go up to Terminal 1 and turn it around. Yeah, that's right. So why are you giving me the runaround here? Which free path is it that you are for which path are you waiting? Because this is not a shared resource. You can zip up and down here all day and nobody's going to mind. Maybe it's this bit here, right? Okay, we'll stick a signal on that, and then hopefully everybody will be happy. I'm going to stick a signal stupid on there. How's that? No? Looks right to me. All right. Which way's... because obviously he's waiting for this chap. Where are you going? Right, you come bundling out of here like a madman before heading up Pink Track, which is fine. You're allowed to head up there. When I'm not... Oh, hello. What's this all about? No, that still looks legit. Yeah, that looks fine. I'm at a bit of a loss to understand why this gentleman is having trouble with his life. Let's turn you around. Have another go at it. What do you know? I made it work. Yeah, you may well hoot your hooter. But you're operational now. So, you know, act like it. Right, I'm going to up the tempo a little bit. I don't like doing it. I like running things at a naturalistic speed. But I'm not going to be doing a whole heck of a lot until things kick off here. So I'm probably going to kick it into high gear in a moment, and that, you know, that's going to be disturbing for all of us. Well, that's quite a nice piece of kernel cam going on there. Isn't that lovely? Oh, what an eclectic mix of trains. Oh dear, except the other one's left. Right, you're waiting for fuel oil. Okay, what were you waiting for? I guess you were waiting for just a bit of everything, which you now have. Right, good, that's working. So, have we got signs of life here yet? And we'll know we have signs of life when we start seeing that right there. That right there is what we were looking for. And that right there is steel, baby, steel. Oh, hold on, what are you doing? You're my iron ore train. Okay, good. The presence of steel is a very good sign. It means that routes are recognizing that there is a market for steel, because there is. Right, let's pay this lot off. Right, I've got, what's that giving me? 8.5 million to play with. Not quite enough, because ironically, the one train I didn't build is the one that will actually make profit fastest. I mean, I could probably... No, because it need. I was going to say I could retask the little Alco to go do it, but look at this, so much queuing going on. I have totally got to redevelop this, but not today, or not right now. Yeah. Yes. I'll finish my train of thought there for you. I think you might appreciate it. Yes. What I need is a train that runs from here up to there, carries slag on the way up, carries construction materials on the way back down. Then it's creating a product that can actually be used. Some of it will be dropped off here immediately to be sold on, which is nice instant profit. Regrettably, it means a mixed consist train, which means it's always going to be running half empty, so it's never going to be maximum profits. Oh, look at this. No, this just isn't going to work. This is not going to work if you're having people wait till full, which I am. Where are you going and why is it upsetting everybody? I've got a signal here. That should be fine. Or are you basically telling me, no, it's because you've set it up like, you know, you've been smoking something herbal. Yeah, you can have 1 minute wait. I need you turned around. Same goes for all of you for the moment. All right, we don't have the luxury of having you, you know, delicately hanging out, making the place look good. I need you whizzed around and back in business as quickly as possible. And one, there we are. Yes. I'm going to fix that as a relatively high priority, I think. Right, 10 million available. I've probably got enough to get a what's-it train, a construction material train done. What's that, 2 million in? What are we going to end up short at the end of the month? Because we will. 2 million in. Oh, let's repay all of it. What the heck? In fact, I'll wait till the end of the year because this is going to save. It's going to save me a little bit of cash on loan interest. The more, the better, frankly. And then we'll fix that up. Right, let's go and have a look at the food train. The newly slimmed down, single-headed big boy food train is now not that train. It's going to be a different one, which is somewhere else. Couldn't tell you where. It's out there somewhere. Here he is. Look, and kaboosh. He's only carrying 158 food. Now, the reason he's only carrying 158 food is because there is an awful lot of food waiting to be delivered. And that's, you know, end of the line deliveries as well. So we've got a whole bunch up there in Bern. We've got, I don't know what the hell's going on over here. I mean, look at this. There's just, I'm making fortresses out of loaves. Feeding a 5,000 is not a challenge for me in the slightest. I can handle that. Look at all these passengers waiting. Don't worry, I'm going to fix them too soon. Planks starting to be made. This is good. That's going to make the lumber train profitable. Where's my ship? Because that's the bit that is going to make the biggest difference once it gets back. There we go. Obviously not carrying anything right now. But with a bit of luck, we might start seeing some stuff turning up at the old hub here, ready to be shipped. So I'm going to park up, and we'll watch magic happen. Right, there's some steel. I want that shipped, and that should be going to the docks. It's going everywhere. I'm taking steel everywhere. It's like emergency steel shipments are happening as we speak. Right, end of the year, 7 million in the red right now. That's it could have been worse. As the autosave wafts its majesty over the kingdom of the Alps. What have we got to play with here? We've got a V90. We've got something Russian. I'm going to have to learn Cyrillic, clearly, if I want to keep using Russian stuff. You can't just kind of admit defeat and just kind of go, oh, because, you know, it makes you seem like an imbecile. Particularly, I would suspect, to those who do have Cyrillic-based languages. My apologies. Right, okay, so once I've got bigger trucks, bigger, better, faster, louder, noisier trucks that are more attractive to everybody, then this backlog that I've got sat here will clear much faster. In other obvious statements, that happens at the end of the year. Right, how are you getting on? 126, that's jolly good. How much are you packing in there? 156. I've got to clear some of this food. I'm not currently clearing any of the food. We've got some planks waiting. That's good. It would be nice to get some steel in here too, but it's not going to happen because they're not going to shift this steel until we've got oil out of the way. Meanwhile, it looks like more steel is actually being dropped off as we speak. So steel production is actually is kicking off quite nicely. Now, once I've got slag on the go too, then construction materials will be relatively quickly turned into something rather profitable. Meanwhile, let's have a look and see how we actually got on last year. 60 in the red, spent 96 on new vehicles, got 10 back. So let's say so we effectively spent 86. So it's 20 million-ish, give or take, is what we're looking at as far as profitability is concerned. You know, it's only a half a million build cost last year. It's okay. We're getting there. I don't want to spend too much more than 10 million on a train if I can avoid doing it, and that's what I've got in the bank. Pause. There we are. I've got 11 million to play with. Let's get the slag train happening. Right. We wish to go from the Burn Exchange up to Volan by Burn. Now, there's a problem with this. There is a problem with this, and that problem is that when I drop construction materials to go back down to the hub, yeah, that's what it's called, simplistic name, it's going to cannibalise the amount of space that steel could take up, or vice versa. Steel will stop construction materials being moved. So I'm going to need a bigger train on there fairly quickly, which means I'm going to need to resolve all of the issues with that kind of bird's nest junction that I have kicking around right now. Okay, right, I've got 13 million pounds, dollars, pounds, sterling of the dollar variety. Let's just say they're from New Zealand, and I intend to spend it. Right, what's this route? This is going to be the brick run. Brick run. Gone are the days where I name things in a way that I can remember where they are. Frankly, I'm only going to be making these types of goods up in this area anyway, so maybe it's not going to be a thing. Right, buy a train. Thank you. That's what I was waiting for. Go to this depot over here, and we'll buy a train. Right. Well, basically, this is going to be whatever I can afford. So I could Alco it again. I don't really want to. That's a quarter of. Well, that's not a quarter at all. That's a seventh of your budget, maybe more than that. Blown on a Fairbanks Morse Trainmaster, which is a very highfalutin name if ever I came across one. Now the current hotness, of course, is the Class 47s. Because you know they haul a bit, and they got a good top speed as well. What about our new Russian friend? Oh, they've got a great top speed, and they also haul a bit, and they're cheaper to run. Okay, right. Well, British Rail is no longer the new hotness. There is that. Are they supposed to work? They are supposed to work as a double header. Well, I acknowledge that they're supposed to work as a double header, however, they're not going to today. Let's have one of those. I have no idea if that's going backwards or forwards. Have we got something else that can give me a point? Right, okay, they face that way, so we'll take one that is facing in the correct direction. Actually, who knows? There we go, it's the B. Oh, was that a terrible idea? Should I not use the A? I think the A should have been the one that I used. I have no idea if this one even moves in the slightest. Maybe it's like a power booster or something. In which case, this is a disaster. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Now then, I've got 8 million left. How much is a good-sized gondola here? You take slag. You'll do 18 at a time. You'll do 18 at a time. 1.2 versus 700 grand, but a top speed of 100 kilometers an hour, which will eat into my profits. I'm afraid we're going to have to go generic gondola on yo. Right, 1.2. So if I went 3, 1, 2, 3, then I could also get 3 state cars on there as well, which is pitiful, but it will do for starters. 1, 2, 3. So I can do it there and back. We're only taking 50 in each direction, which is rubbish. Set that on the brick run. There you go, and put that particular poetry into motion. There you are. Right, close all of this lot out. There he is. Look, he's waiting for a free path. Not sure why. Hold on, we got another one waiting for a free path here. Have I got a face-off situation going on? I think I probably have. Right, what are you waiting for? Obviously you're waiting for a free path. Who's in your way? There is not a train to be seen here for about 1,000 miles. Oh no, it'll be the coal train coming in. I recall this. Nope, there's the coal train. It's going the other way, look. I've got no money left, so I can't even place some signals right now. This is quite traumatic. Right, I'm gonna activate maximum acceleration here in order to try and get something going. I have got the okay. Right, next priority: fix this chuffing junction. Because at the moment, chuffing is the last thing that it's doing. Right, okay, what are you? Where have you come? This is the Volan by Burned Goods Bulk multiphasic many splendid delivery train. No, I mean, look at this. Crossing over both tracks. I have put together some really poor routes in my time. But this one is not taking the biscuit so much as it's looking at the biscuit and then just laughing at it. It's laughing at the biscuit. Right, I've got enough money to buy some signals, but I have no idea where I'd put them. Actually, 2 million quid would be enough to redevelop this junction. Alright, okay, this month I will redevelop it. But you're not going to get to see that today because we're all out of time. Time is the thing that we're fighting against. Why have you only got 8 steel? Do I need you to hang around a bit longer? Because there's loads waiting, look. Unless it's waiting for something else. It's waiting for Burn Hub Goods Bulk, look. Alright, fair enough. And meanwhile, slag's being developed. We have slag. This is all good. There you go. That's gonna wrap it up for this time. I think we have steered ourselves from the precipice. We have stared into Oblivion's eye and said, "No, Oblivion, not today. We will not stand for this. Let's slow things down for some kind of high drama, conclusive proof of pudding." What have I got that's new, that's worth watching? Where's that really beefy ship? That's not it. This isn't beefy in the slightest. It's the opposite thereof. Let's go and have a look at the docks. We'll finish off there. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Colonel Failure. There is steel. There are planks. We will have tools. We will have machines in relatively short order. And that will put us back onto not just an even keel, but we will rapidly hit a golden age of profitability that many will come to refer to as the golden age of profitability. Thank you for watching. Chuck a like at this one if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe so that you do not miss out on further endeavours towards luxury levels of money. Not that that's really an objective I've set for myself, but it seemed like a sensible thing to say. I'll catch up with you very soon. Cheerio.